Hello, it's Caroline at For the Love of Crochet. You are not going to want to miss this one. And then there was none. Hooking Up with Books. We read the Agatha Christie novel, and then there was none. And oh my gosh, did everyone just represent in a different way. And there are a lot of entries and so fantastic. Oh, I can't wait to share. If you want to enter for the next book, the winner is The Flat Share by Beth O'Leary, which I am so thankful for. I need a good, feel-good novel, and this one is a little love story that I've heard nothing but good things about. So I am anxious to read this with you, and there's some crochet in this book, so it's really awesome. I have not read it all. I had started reading it, and I had gotten to the 5th or 10th chapter. I barely started reading it, and I was like, ooh, we got to add this to the Hooking Up with Books. So I stopped reading it, and I wanted to read it along with you, so that's great. I'm glad it won. So we'll be reading The Flat Share by Beth O'Leary starting now until May 15th. But again, send in your entries 2 days prior to the 15th so I have time to record, edit, and upload. Followed by The Marsh King's Daughter. I don't remember who the author is, but that is a great, suspenseful thriller novel. And we'll be reading that from May 15th to July 15th. And I am so sorry we didn't read it this time around. We got kind of excited about voting, so we're putting it on the docket for the next read, no matter what. So The Flat Share, followed by The Marsh King's Daughter. So now you can get your books in advance or check them out of your library. That's something we'd like to incorporate is books or things that you are easily accessible to. And some of the entries we received for recommendations are not easy to get or they're very expensive. I can't check it out of a library and I can't find it online. So keep in mind if you have a book recommendation, send it our way. But chances are we need to pick books that is easily accessible to everybody. Okay, so here we go. Here is what I made, followed by what everyone made, and it's so fantastic. So what I made was one of the characters that stuck out the most to me was the woman, who's basically the only woman. I know there was another woman and then the maid, but this was the woman that took care of the little boy. Now, I started out by reading the novel, and I couldn't do it. I decided to watch the films, the 3-part miniseries, and it took me forever. And I was receiving entries, and I was like, oh, please don't tell me what happened. So I was receiving entries immediately because people had already read this novel a long time ago or they had memories of it. So within a few days of mentioning it, we had our submissions, and in their email submissions, I was hoping they did not tell me what happened. But anyway, back to what I made. So I really connected with this woman because I already knew she was guilty. And I'm like, how could she kill a child? Anyway, so this one stuck out the most to me. So I made the little boy in his little summer beach outfit. This is let me see what, I will have the pattern listed down below. I can't think of the name, but he's got quite the tummy. And I put a little fish on his overalls, and he has this little cap, little swimming cap, and his little bangs here. And he's just quite chunky. Now, I used this color that I had picked up because I thought it would be a good color for her skin tone. But this little boy needs a tan in a major way. He has just never seen the light of day. I like this as a skin tone. This is a DK weight, and he's quite large. And in this pattern, it came with a knitted beach towel or blanket. So I made his little beach towel blanket. So he has his little beach towel. And I used Hobby Lobby's Yarn Bee Velvety Smooth. Oh, I love this. I love working with this one. It's so soft and easy. And in the pattern, it had little pom-poms on the end, but I didn't want to make a pom-pom because that stuff would fly everywhere. So this is his little beach blanket or beach towel. And that is what I made. I made the little boy. That woman did horrible things too. Okay, tell me what you think of the novel. Are you an Agatha Christie fan? Apparently there are a lot of you. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. I am so sorry, but it's like a puzzle. Although I did figure out who it was immediately. I had only read the first 6 chapters. I can't remember how far I got. I was only like 20% in, and the judge's voice just stood out to me the most. And I immediately thought, well, he's behind it. That guy's behind it. But after reading that little bit, I put the book down, and instead I watched the miniseries. And the miniseries, I could not tell as much as I could from the book. The book, his voice stood out a lot, but in the miniseries, I really couldn't. I had a still. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. Agatha Christie books are not what I enjoy, I should say. The mystery novel, like Who Did It? I'm not a Who Did It person. I'm not. So anyway, moving on to all of your projects. Absolutely glorious. I have 14 entries. Amazing. Thank you so much for participating. You make this so much more enjoyable and so much more interesting, and I just love seeing all your projects, and it's so inspiring. So let's kick it off with the first one. Okay, and this was the order that I received them. Bonnie, you are first, and you made this absolutely gorgeous letter, right? She made this letter because she was so taken with how everybody was invited and everyone was given this letter with money. So she wrote out the letter, typed it out. I thought it was so cool. And then she crocheted the letter that you put the note in. I just thought that was so awesome. Thank you so much, Bonnie, for participating. She really wanted to crochet a bottle because that's how we find out the story of what happened, but she just couldn't find a pattern. So she stuck with the letter. Okay, next up we have Jacqueline. She made a red herring because of all the deception that was in this book, as well as she did find a bottle pattern. So here we have the red herring and the bottle, and it was so cool. I love how she did the pictures and the red. It's so cool. So thank you so much for participating. And then the third entry I received was from somebody else called Caroline. She made this adorable little soldier boy. Oh, it's so cute. I loved this little pattern, and it's so sweet and perfect for Soldier Island. So thank you so much to you, Caroline, who I share a name with. And I believe this is your first time participating. So welcome and thank you so much. Okay, next up is Laura, and she is a first time participating in Hooking Up with Books. So thank you so much, Laura, for joining in. And she made the bottle. So she found a bottle, I guess it was a rum bottle, and so she adapted it to be the bottle for this novel. Okay, and next up we have Lee Mack, who made this adorable little seagull for all the seagulls that are mentioned in the novel. And Lee Mack has a YouTube channel, so I will have all the YouTubers linked down below, but I believe her crochet channel is Lee Mack. I just love her little seagull pattern. It is very cute. Now, Lee Mack also made this cute little basket of wool to represent one of the ladies, one of the characters in the novel who knit. And next up, we have Cheryl, who made this gorgeous shawl. And I believe this is a crochet pattern by Anya from Ophelia Talks. She recently did a crochet along, like a mystery crochet along, and so this shawl fit in perfectly with the Agatha Christie novel, and she chose this color because it represented the island. And then she also crocheted the skull, obviously, for all the deaths, and she got this pattern. I will have all the patterns that I could find linked down below. It is a bookmark and it's so cool. So thank you so much for joining in. I really enjoyed this one. Next up we have Robyn. Oh, Robyn, I just love she made a record, because in the beginning of the book they're playing this record, and then this is when the recording went on, and it's called Swan Song, and she did such a fabulous job. This is so perfect. I love it. This is so cool, and all of the projects are so unique and different. I just love it. So Robyn, you did an outstanding job. Okay, next up we have Janna Kay, who's also a YouTuber. Now, she recently changed her name, so I'll have it right here. And she originally wanted to make a soldier boy, but she is not one to make amigurumi very much. And so she opted for the red herring. And again, so we have quite a few red herrings, and unfortunately I didn't catch the red herring reference. And then I really love what she made second. She made a donut to represent 0 or none in the title, and then there was none. And then also, because whenever there are donuts, there is usually none left. So I just love that reference, and thank you, Janna Kay. Again, I'll have the YouTubers linked down below and any patterns I can find. Next up, we have Gail, who's also known as Gorgeous in the comments, Gorgeous Homestead. And she made this stacking bee, which is so cute. And I guess there was a reference in the film or movie, or in the film or the book, of, I think Emma, is her name Emma? Yes, Emma seeing a bee in the window. So she has this bee, which is so pretty, and I love the picture she took. Such a cute one. Thank you for participating, Gail. And next up, we have Pamela, who's also known as the Ginger Cat Crochet, a YouTuber. Pamela made the soldier boy, a gnome, right? A gnome soldier boy? Yes, a gnome soldier, because she enjoys this. She enjoys Agatha Christie, and she watched, I guess, the older version of the film. So cute. I love the gnome. I believe this is our only gnome entry. Okay, and then next up we have Claudia. Now, Claudia is also a YouTuber called Crochet Luna. Now, she makes podcasts once a month, I believe, and she's currently doing a bag, scrappy bag. What's it called? Crochet Luna and Little Drops of Wonderful are currently hosting the Dodgy Bag Mal. So if you sew or don't sew, they encourage you to sew your own dodgy bag, your own project bag, and it's called Dodgy Bag Mal. And it's starting this month, but go check out Crochet Luna, and she made this lovely, what is that, a cowl, and this little dodgy bag. Now this dodgy bag is, you can see there's like a skull on it, and there's something that says deaths. She tied in the, what is this called? She tied in this little scarf thing because she was crocheting that while she was watching the films. And she also listened to the audible version of the story. But she also decided to make a bag. She was so inspired that she started picking out fabrics and putting it together with this little bag. So thank you so much for joining us, Claudia at Crochet Luna. Okay, next up we have Shannon. Oh my goodness. Is this the most original? Right up there with the record, Robyn's record. The Spoonie Stitcher. Shannon is also a YouTuber called The Spoonie Stitcher, and she, out of all the films and books, all the versions, I guess this book was made several times in, or this book was made a couple of times in film, and the one standing thing that stood out was the statues representing the poem, The 12 Indians, the 12 Little Indians. So she made up this pattern because she was so struck with, I don't know what to make, that she just made the statue as best she could. And this was such an original idea. No one else made the statue. I wanted to make the statue, but there was no way I was going to try and whip something up. Okay, so thank you so much for participating, Shannon. This is original. And then next up, we have Esther. And Esther submitted this beautiful collar. And I love the image that she posted. So she was inspired by the collar that the maid had, and she decided to whip up a lace crochet design. And it's so pretty with the little, what was that? The very pretty decorative jewel that she had in the middle. So pretty. So thank you, Esther. And then Carlotta is my last person. And Carlotta participates almost in has participated from the very beginning of Hooking Up with Books. And she makes the most exquisite little amigurumi. She always does amigurumi. And this is a bee that she made that was in the window. And isn't this scene just perfect? I love the picture that she took as well. So thank you so much for joining us, and we so appreciate everybody participating. The next book, of course, is The Flat Share. Cassandra had a total of 75 votes, and my post had a total of 40 votes. I think that's more than last time, so y'all better represent. I hope we have a ton more projects to share. Thank you again. I sincerely appreciate it. Cassandra and I love it. Now go check out Craftably Ever After Cassandra, because I'm sure she got some entries that I didn't receive, and see what everyone else has made. Thank you so much, and I shall see you again soon. Bye.